One of the photos I took was a photo I took towards the end of the day. Um, and it's an image that shows the square almost on fire, and a man sitting on, I think, a water cooler or something, and he is looking towards that fire, with just a lot of stuff on the floor, you know, like some fruit, the tents that were destroyed. There's a huge cloud of smoke as well. Behind that smoke, there is, you know, the security forces. On the other side, he's almost resigned. He realizes that, you know, kind of the heaviness of that day. And it's a picture that I think describes a lot of what happened that day, the destruction and the heaviness of it, and the cruelty that was applied. But I mean, Rab'a's the work I did during that day was I tried to be everywhere. You know, I tried to take pictures of the many bodies that were put in makeshift morgues. I tried to put pictures of the women who were breaking stones and trying to deliver it to the front lines. I tried to take pictures of the medics whose colleagues were killed. I tried to take photos of the loss that people felt as they identified their loved ones, and they saw them in the morgue. I think there is a moment of a man identifying his cousin inside. I don't know. I don't think it was the mosque. I think it was one of the buildings attached to the mosque, and it had, a few days before, I had been in that hall, and it was used as a press center, and now it was another makeshift morgue because they were running out of space to put people. And when I went to check it, I couldn't even walk because of how, you know, condensed it was by the dead bodies. And there was a man there who had just saw his cousin killed, and he just held his hand and he grieved over his body. And I just tried to get close and to take a picture of that moment, and just show this, you know, extremely saddening moment, and just your loss, in my opinion. And I think that moment is one that I remember a lot. It's just the fact that he seemed to be in his own world, consumed by his own grief. That, you know, there were so many other people around him. There was blood on the floor. But he just wanted to spend those last moments with his cousin, and then I left. So that's one of the photos that really signify the pain that Rab'a left to so many people, and one that I think continues to, you know, haunt so many people in Egypt, because it was never resolved, and it doesn't look like it ever will be. In fact, Rab'a as a memory is being erased and is being rewritten. The square doesn't even exist anymore. It doesn't exist on its name anymore. The mosque had a makeshift, or whatever it's called. So it's important, I think, that testimonies about Rab'a and things that happened continue to be discussed and shared and passed on because hopefully one day, you know, things will change in Egypt, and hopefully one day there will be an accountability and a way for people to get justice, and a way for many families to move on, and hopefully this extremely cruel day in Egyptian history becomes one that is commemorated, that it finally was resolved. I tried to, you know, it was very easy that day to focus on the killing, which is obviously the main story in on such a day. And there were so many images of, you know, people lined up in the morgue, and some of which were even too graphic to share. But what I tried, and again, this is something I was mentioning, is that during my entire coverage of the revolution in Egypt, I was always trying to identify individuals, because the revolution to so many people remained an individual act. Everyone had their own reason to take part, and everyone had their own grievances, and even people in Rabaa had different reasons to be there. And at moments of loss, I also tried to identify those people. I tried to kind of bring the small stories of tragedy and the single cases of killing, and highlight it a little, because it's easy to say that, you know, 800 or 900, depending on the numbers, were killed, and to show, and that's also something that's extremely important. But people can only resonate with, or can only connect when they see other people, when they see, you know, a man or a mother or a son or a wife in this situation.